Well, here I am at Callaway, at Carlsbad, the home of Callaway Golf in America, and John Meskowski. That's the way I pronounce it?
Yep, it's close enough.
Close enough. John, you're one of the specialist club fitters here at the headquarters, and tell us a little bit of history of how long you've been with Callaway and what this whole thing's all about.
So I've been a club specialist for about 5 years now. This is our office here. We do anywhere from 10 to 12 fittings a day in this room. We operate basically Monday to Friday. You'll notice in the system that we use and we test on, there's a proprietary system that we use, specially marked golf balls with 3 stripes on them. And then also all the club heads are going to have special markings, stereo head markings on top of the club there so that we can trace face angle, impact, and the delivery angles of the club head to give us all the information that we need. We prefer to use the system indoors because it is based off of shadows. It just makes the system a little more accurate. So
it's very accurate.
Very accurate.
I can attest to that. Yep. But let's give us a little bit you've got a lot of stuff in here, and that's what really impresses me, that someone comes for a fitting. It's a very thorough process, and you have so many shafts. How many shafts can you test here to make sure you got the best shaft for the person?
So like as you can see behind us, we have an iron wall basically close to about 150, 200 different iron shafts. And then the wall behind us here, driver shafts, probably close to about the same number, right around 100, in all different lengths, sizes, weights, flexes, you name it, we'll have that option.
So that's why you need a specialist that can actually take you through it.
Right.
That's why I'm with you.
We're going to have a good time.
We are. So what's the process now? What do I need to do?
So what we're going to do is we're going to have you warm up. I'm going to ask you a bunch of questions, kind of get to understand your game, where we can help you, where we can benefit. I'll have you hit a couple golf shots, just kind of get used to the environment, get comfortable, get the tempo situated. And then once we get going, we'll start to look at some data, and then depending on what the data says, we'll start to try out the different options.
The nice thing is you know exactly where each ball goes. So you can see 1, how far it goes, 2, how straight it goes, and 3, how consistently they're there.
Absolutely.
So that's, especially with shots, you want them to finish in the same or close. The club that's going to work the best.
You're exactly right.
Now, how many iron head designs does Callaway have for the different golfer?
Yeah, there's a lot of different options. Throughout the year, anywhere from 3 to 6 different iron heads. Right now, we have about 5 that we are currently utilizing, but we try to cover every golfer demographic in the lineup. And
with the woods, I know you got some very hot woods. I know that.
Yeah. So right now, currently, we have 3 fairway woods that we kind of test in between, as far as the driver goes as well, right in the 3 category.
One thing I do know is that I've just got the set of clubs, and I've had them probably about 6 weeks. I haven't had a lot of time to use them because I've been out there teaching here in America. But I have tested it with the flight scope, and I hit the ball about 30 yards further than with my previous club.
Wow,
I won't mention the brand that it was, but I'm sure it was more to do with the shaft and the fitting. It's been amazing. Plus, I've been doing a little bit of work with some training programs with Mike Adams and some other devices to help increase my club head speed.
Great.
So that's interesting. I can tell you that equipment is very important, but also if you've got the technique, you can get the best of both worlds.
Most certainly. It is a nice combination of the two.
Yeah, there's no magic club that's going to do it for you.
Correct.
But you can have a great technique, but if your clubs don't fit you, you certainly you lose a lot of advantage.
Most certainly. Yeah.
Well, thanks very much.
Happy to have you.
Great to be here.
We're going to have a great time.
Super.
All right, Peter, so you're nice and warmed up, you're comfortable, so what I'm going to ask you to do, just hit a couple more golf shots for me, and then what we'll do is we'll take a break, we'll kind of walk through the data together, and make sure we're on the same page.
Okay.
All right? Go right ahead. Same good swing you've been making.
Okay, so got the barber's pole down there, okay?
Right at that red and white stripe hole, be perfect. Good swing, well done. Excellent. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to wait for that golf ball to land, and then once it lands, so down the left side of your screen, Peter, you can see kind of the downrange overview, okay? This light blue ellipse represents the 3 best golf shots you've hit with your current 7-iron, okay? As we go through and we try out potentially different club heads and different flexes, we'll be able to change the colors so that we can compare both the distance and the accuracy. text, okay? You'll see the golf shot that's highlighted right here is your last golf shot you've hit, and the data from that golf shot is over there on the other side of the screen. So let's talk through some of those numbers, okay? First and foremost, we have your club head speed, and that's telling us how fast the club head is moving through the impact area. Really important for us, lets us know what shaft flex is going to pair best for you. Here at Callaway Golf, with a 7-iron or a mid-iron, 70 to 80 miles per hour will pair best with a regular flex. 80 to 90 a stiff, 90 and above extra stiff. Okay, so it just kind of gives us the ballpark. It doesn't tell us exactly what shaft. It just kind of lets us know the general category. Okay, doesn't tell us steel or graphite, but we will explore some different options, see what feels best, see what performs best. Ball speed tells us how fast the golf ball is traveling off the club face. The higher the ball speed, the more distance you're going to see. Okay, so that's critical as we compare the different club heads to one another.
Okay. So what's the number for 76 mile an hour goes to what? 104 is okay?
Yeah, I mean, that is a well-struck golf shot. I'll show you here in a couple of minutes the efficiency number or the smash factor. It will show us the ideal number. But based off your club head speed, 104, 105, 106 is perfect. So that's a well-struck golf shot. The spin rate. The golf ball in that particular golf shot was rotating 5,330 rotations per minute. Of course, this number is going to depend on a lot of things, right? The angles at which the club is delivered, the loft of the club, the golf ball being used. But a well-struck shot should result in a spin rate of anywhere from about 4,500 to 6,000. So as of right now, well-struck golf shot, great numbers. You'll see on spin rates, when the spin rate is higher than where it should be, you'll start to see that golf ball kind of balloon up in the air.
And lose, you lose it.
You're exactly right. And then vice versa, little spin, it won't want to stay in the air, will actually fall out of the sky for you. So great number, great trajectory. The side spin. The golf ball actually doesn't have side spin, it just tilts on its axis, but it's a little bit easier for the general public to understand the side spin. So that's how we title it. The negative number is not a bad thing, it just tells us the golf ball is rotating to the left. A positive number would be to the right. Basically, we typically tell the guests anywhere under about 300 RPMs looks like a straight golf shot outside. So this one literally had 47 rotations to the left. Well-struck golf shot, almost perfectly straight. Well done. Carry distance right around 149, rolling out in a perfect fairway to 161. Nicely done. The launch angle is the degree at which the golf ball launches off the club face. The ideal number we're trying to achieve there is about 16 to 21 or 22 degrees with a 7-iron at this particular loft. So excellent.
Set like at 20 degrees, 20.2. So that's perfect. It's not going to go over, it's going to get good carry.
Correct. Yep, nice penetrating flight, but still high enough to where you're going to hold a green. Yep. Well done. And we really don't need to go into depth too deep about these numbers because they are great angles at which you're delivering the club. The professional that you are, striking down at the golf ball at a negative 9.2 attack angle. PGA Tour average for a 7-iron is anywhere from -6 to -11. Perfect. Yeah. In other words, you're taking the alpine divot sides, if you will. And then the path angle you'll see from the illustration, 2.8 degrees from the inside out to the right of target. That is ideal. Typically for the better player like yourself, you'll see anywhere from about 1 degree to 4 degrees from the inside. Golf swing is ideal. Let's try out a couple different options for you and make sure that you are in the optimal setup.
Okay.
All right, sound good? Any questions?
No, it looks all right to me. Okay. Now I'm really interested. The only thing I can see there is 2.8 degrees. My preference is inside the 2, so I'm not too far away, but basically it's all good.
Wonderful. Good.
Is there a smash factor on that? Is there?
There is a smash factor. I will show you. I will be able to put the graphic up there.
Compression.
Yeah. So the efficiency or the smash factor on that last golf shot was 1.37. It's actually on that other screen over there. And then the efficiency actually reads at 91%. So 92% is perfect with a 7-iron. So you are basically right there.
On the money. Okay. So this club.
Efficiently working.
It was fitted by Callaway.
That's good. Good. Glad to hear that. Good.
Super.
Based off of those numbers, that is an ideal club for you. The loft of the club, the way that it's set up, the shaft, the weight, the flex in which you currently play is ideal for you based off your club head speed. What I would like to do is I would like to double check just a couple things for you. I do know, from asking you a couple simple questions, you have played a different lie angle in the past from what you currently are playing. You have played upwards of 3-4 degrees flat, currently playing about 1 degree flat in our clubs. So what I'd like to do is double check that, as well as your grip size, just to make sure, the fine-tuned adjustments are exactly where they need to be. So while we're here, let's talk about your grip first.
Yes.
The way in which we measure your grip to make sure that it fits your hand and your palm well we ask you to make your nice normal grip for me. Okay? All right, and then when you're set up and ready to go, what I'll ask you to do is take your lower right hand off the club completely, just leaving your left hand. Okay?
Yep.
And we'll show you over here, we'll kind of rotate a little bit. But basically what's going on is when you make your nice firm grip with your left hand, you basically want to see your ring and middle finger either just touch the palm of your hand or just off when you are making a relatively firm grip. And when you're doing that, it is absolutely perfect. So Peter, I would tell you to keep using this. This is a unique grip, it's a special grip. I tell you to keep using that same exact size. It's ideal for the length of your fingers and the size of your hand.
Yeah, just a little bit on this grip. This is an Australian grip.
Yep.
Okay. It's a kangaroo. It's made by Croker Master, so especially for Callaway.
Yep.
But it's really tacky, so it doesn't. When you sweat or in the rain, it won't slip.
Yep. Mr. Gary Player is a big fan of that grip. I've seen him use it very often.
Look, it lasts 3 or 4 years.
Yep.
Before you have to replace it, it's the number one grip in my opinion. Okay. There are a lot of great grips, but this one's got my vote.
It's very nice. Keep using it.
Yep.
All right, so let's take a look at your line angle here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a piece of face tape. We do this a little different than most. There's a couple different ways in which you can adjust for the line angle. We like to take into account the impact location and also the direction of the flight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of tape right on the club head there. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab our special golf ball. Our special golf ball is kind of right behind here. What we actually do is we actually cut a line in the cover of the golf ball. Okay, and what we're going to do is I'm going to line this up at target. You're going to hit it for me, and it's going to show me at impact if the club head is nice and flush on the ground, or the toe or the heel is slightly leaning in. Okay. In the past, typically, companies will do this off of a plastic board, right? They'll put it on the ground, they'll have you hit off of it. But you and I both know some people change their swing in accordance with that because they feel like they're hitting off of a cart path or something like that. They get tense, they make a different swing, and it can affect the reading. This way, you can do it on a driving range, or you can do it indoors like so, and set it up, make your nice normal swing. It'll show us where you're hitting it, and also the angles at which you're delivering the ball.
That's fantastic to know that. That's taking it to another level.
Let's set it up for you. All right, do me a favor, make your nice normal swing right at that red and white stripe hole. Same good move.
Let that one stand a little bit. Probably.
Okay. But if you don't mind, we're going to do another reading. We just do 1 or 2 just to make sure we kind of get a nice little, like you said, a little low on the face. Let's do 1 or 2 more. Just like that, same routine. Definitely sound a little bit higher.
Yeah, that's up in the middle of that.
Okay, good. So 2 swings, okay? And realistically, we can hit as many shots as we need. But let me show you here exactly what we're looking at, okay? So we can see the impact location, like you said. First one was a little bit lower. Second one is actually perfcally struck in the center of the face.
Can we come a little bit closer to the camera so I
Absolutely.
can get up?
Yep, absolutely. And you can see there how it leaves little white lines in the center there.
Yeah, the grooves. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep. So then what I'll do just to make things a little bit easier to see is I'll actually come here and draw the Sharpie mark just to make it even more clear. Okay. And what we're doing here. So our job, right? Remember that golf ball had that little line cut in it. Okay.
Yep.
And it's testing to see at delivery if that club head is nice and flat on the ground or if the toe or the heel is leading in. Okay.
Yep.
So when I put this club nice and flat in my hand, you can tell that those lines are basically straight up and straight down.
Yep.
Which at impact is ideally what you're looking for, which verifies the line angle in which you have this club. Absolutely perfect.
Spot on with that shaft because, the shaft affects the line.
You're exactly right. Yep. So that combination, the way in which you have it, whatever the combination it is, I think it looks like you have pitching wedge to 4-iron, 3-iron.
Mm-hmm.
I would leave it exactly at that 1 degree flat line angle all the way through the set. and potentially including your wedges as well.
Well, that's nice to know. So that makes me feel a lot better.
Great setup for you.
Super. John, look, this is a new little, it's so simple, but it's new technology. So you're going to tell us how we, as a student on the golf course, can work out whether our clubs are the right line.
Absolutely. On the course or on the driving range, what you can do is, if you have access to tape, great, you can utilize that. But realistically, say we're out on the course, we don't have access to the live tape. What we're going to do is we're actually going to take a Sharpie, right, a permanent marker, dry erase marker, whatever you choose to do. And we're going to draw a little black line on the golf ball. Okay, a lot of people even actually use these for putting, right? To align the ball and kind of hit it where you need to.
Exactly.
What you can do is you can take that same exact golf ball, draw the mark on it, and then what we're going to do is I'm actually going to set this up to where you strike it, that black line is going to show up on your club face to verify your line angle, right? If we notice a significant lean with that line, it's going to tell us that the line goes off, right? But if we see that line is pretty close to center and is pretty much straight up and straight down at impact, that's ideally what we're looking for. Yeah. So if you want to run a little demo, we can. I've drawn a little line on here. I'll set it up for you right at your target. And go ahead and hit that one for me and see what the result is. Go right ahead.
So this is a great way for the average person to work out, are my clubs the right line angle? Because if you've got the wrong line angle, you're definitely going to hit the ball crooked if you make a good swing.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So certainly.
You make compensating swings and you wonder why you're not consistent. Line is a very important part of club fitting. Let's see. I'm really interested to see it. I'll hit that one as sweet as I can.
Okay.
And there's the line.
Mm-hmm. And it's a little difficult to see because the line in which I drew on the golf ball had a little indentation on it, so it doesn't appear as crisp as it will for you on the course. But you can see that that line is basically running right down the center of the face and is perfectly straight up and straight down. So just kind of reconfirms what we were talking about.
Can I borrow the Sharpie?
Yeah, most certainly.
Just take the lid off there. What I see is, if I trace the line, it's just pretty well straight up and down. Maybe just a fraction, maybe a half a degree toe down. That's very close.
Yep.
And with your precision, that's really good.
Yep. And you can see with the line, the other line you have on the face there, it almost makes it a 90-degree angle right there. So like you said, really close, keeping it below the horizontal line there. Great shot, great line on that set.
So there you go. So anyone can test their line angle. Just get a Sharpie, they've got these rings that you make the mark.
Exactly. Yeah.
And people do it, then they can line their putter up as well.
Exactly.
But on the driving range, take the range ball and do it to that. It'd be great.
That's exactly it.
There you go. I've hit a few shots. I've 6 shots in total.
Yep.
A couple there, you'd taken the strip off the top so you couldn't read the head speed.
Exactly. So we got the head speed on the first couple golf shots. So this is our proprietary Engage technology, to where they developed it in-house so that we can, utilize all the tools that we feel is necessary. So what you can see is you can kind of see the average there of the 3 well-struck golf shots, kind of comparing the dispersion. And then what we've done is of the 6 golf shots, we prefer to work in averages. So I've actually selected the 3 best golf shots, with the second, the third, and the fourth shots you struck. And then by selecting those, it actually creates the average along the top. So again, your average with the club head speed, 75.7, how fast you're swinging the club. The ball is traveling on average 105.3 miles per hour off the club face. Great launch and spin numbers, 19 and a half, 5,051 rotations per minute. Your efficiency is also known as, your smash factor, terrific, 93%, extremely efficient with a 7-iron. You can't achieve 100% because there's 31 degrees of loft on a 7-iron.
Yeah,
so therefore the golf ball.
Going to give a glancing blow to some degree.
Exactly right. So great side spin number, well under 100, which is terrific. 151, 165 total distance. So
yeah. The interesting thing is I can hit this club 150 carry yards. Yep. Whereas my previous club was 140.
Wow, that's amazing.
So I picked up 10 yards, and the ball flight goes slightly higher with this and stops quicker.
Wonderful.
So,
Well, what we're going to test for you, you're already extremely happy. We grabbed another shaft, kind of similar in profile, but just want to see if it helps give you that extra edge. And then what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to create that average right underneath it, compare side by side. We're going to use the numbers, and then we're also going to use your feel and your preference, because at the end of the day, it's your set of clubs. It has to feel good, and it also has to perform.
yeah. The other thing is, by having a comparison, I'll feel happy in myself that I've got the best club that I can find. The thing is, we could go through all the 20, how many different shafts?
Yeah, for irons, we have close to about 150.
So that's, how many days would it take me to do
A
that?
long time. You'd be really tired.
So basically, anyone that would like to, your expertise, you narrow it down to an area. Once you've got the club head speed,
Yep.
You take that 100 different shafts and you bring it down to say 3, 4, or 5.
Exactly. Yep.
And then it makes it. But again, you've got a choice. The actual golfer,
Yep.
you can, and when there's no disputing it here. If you look at this is what we're looking at really. We want to see that number really just on the one spot. But if that means you're going to hit the greens.
Exactly. Yep. Extremely important.
And you know how far the club goes, so therefore you can manage your game.
Yep. Exactly right.
Okay, so back, John, you've given me a new club.
Yeah, so same exact club head that you have, just an adjustable fitting head. But basically what we've done is we've paired you here with a slightly different shaft. It's going to play ultimately pretty comparable, the weight, the flex. There are a couple small differences in it. It will have the tendency, people describe it as feeling a little bit closer to a steel shaft. So you have played steel before, you're currently playing graphite. This one kind of meets halfway. The weight is going to be slightly heavier. You can probably feel that.
It's amazing, isn't it? There's only a couple of grams.
It's grams, yeah.
But I can actually feel that at the moment. But I really feel it when I hit it.
Let's give it a try. Let's see what happens. Let's hit a couple. Let's hit about 5 to 6 golf shots for me, and we'll take your best 3. Okay.
What might happen? They might be equal. I might have to have 2 sets.
There you go. Nothing wrong with that. The traveling set and the home set.
Well, I have to have them at both places all the way. Okay. So let's It felt pretty good.
Good swing. Nicely done. Good start. So it is interesting to note on your first swing there, okay, and I know it is right out of the gates, but on your first swing, that club head speed actually went up a couple miles per hour, right? You were before at the 75, 76 range, and now with a heavier golf club, you swing it faster, okay? And that is extremely player dependent. I can't reiterate that enough, because you would think going to a heavier golf club, you'd actually swing it slower, right? But in this particular case, and it's not uncommon, some golfers feel the weight more. They feel like they need to generate more energy, more power, exert it, and that's exactly what happened. But we do need to note you swung the golf club faster, but the golf ball didn't travel off the face any faster. It was still at 105.3 miles per hour. So therefore, you're going to see your efficiency and your smash factor come down slightly. Your distance is still at 152. You're still at 165 total. Your spin rate is still basically right at that 5,000 RPM mark. That makes sense because we really haven't adjusted the loft too much. And your launch is still basically mirroring at that 20 and a half degrees. So good spot. Try a couple more, but let's see if that that trend continues for you.
Tell you what I did notice is the extra weight.
Yep.
With my move, I swung a little bit too much inside out.
Okay, gotcha.
Let's see. So I just pushed a little bit to the right. Let's see if I can come more down the line. Right down that one. That's leftish for sure. Wow. Extra weight. We knocked that one out. That's a no-go.
All right.
I actually started thinking about my golf swing.
Consider it done.
See, that's another thing. Just got to watch the ball, hit the ball, and let the club do the work.
Exactly right.
Okay, so I'm back to my routine now.
Yep. See swing.
This is interesting, routine. Drop out the routine. Very important. I was just thinking about Jordan Spieth, it cost him the Masters, the routine. Instead of taking 2 breaths, he only took 1. And I know how important it is to Jason Day and Justin Rose. They really appreciate the routine. Still inside out. See, inside out, amazing.
Yep. It's definitely changed that number. And also, too, right? So that club head speed is back to normal. That ball speed is up. That's good. It is changing some of the path angles. We'll keep a close eye on that for you.
Definitely feel the weight. It's definitely.
And again, still kind of reiterating kind of what we were talking about earlier, Peter. So again, on that golf shot, the head speed is up to 78.3, but the ball speed is down to 104.5. So something about that combination, whether it's the weight, whether it's the flex.
I'll hit one more with it, then I'll go back to my other one.
Yep.
Let me get a concentration going. Definitely a different club. It's amazing the inconsistency now compared with my other one.
So what I'll go ahead and do is we can come on over here to the screen and we'll kind of discuss the averages for you, okay?
Can I just do one thing?
Yeah, certainly.
I got my other club right here.
Yeah, you want to try yours again?
Let's just go back a unit at a time. Obviously, it might take 1 or 2 swings. Just give me 2 shots with this.
Yeah, please go right ahead.
I ain't taking me 1, but I'm prepared to give it a couple. Definitely feel the difference in the weight. Oh, there's no mark on this one.
Yeah, so just make sure you hit it on this side of the dot for me.
Okay. But I probably need something on here, do I?
Yeah, would you like to see your head speed?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
This is interesting while we got it there. Yeah.
There you go. All right ahead.
Nice and easy, relaxed. Nice deep breath. Interesting. So I've already come in, it's not as much inside out. Maybe it's the 3rd shot. 75. 70. Okay. Didn't quite catch that one. So just still 146 yard carry. It's amazing. You take one club and you change it. It changes. This feels. I feel this one better.
Okay, good.
Already.
Feels like it's easier to use. You can definitely notice the consistency has changed between the groups. But I'll show you some of the numbers here in a moment, breaking them down side by side. But there's definitely differences in head speed and ball speed, and of course the consistency as well. Okay, Peter. So down the left side of the screen, you're going to be able to see the averages, kind of comparing the ellipse. So just like you kind of felt as you noticed, the club that you currently have in your bag, the apex with the recoil graphite shaft is represented in the light blue, and then the red is going to be the second combination we tried with the slightly heavier, slightly different material, steel fiber shaft. So
amazing, isn't it?
Same club head, same length, same loft, but the consistency is drastically different. There's no doubt about it that's definitely the best option for you. And the numbers also kind of reiterated here a little bit as well. So the club head speed did go up with a heavier shaft. And again, I can't explain how player dependent this is. Really depends on the golfer and the delivery, but from your experience, you probably would not have expected to see the club head speed go up with a heavier shaft, right? Would you agree?
Exactly. You normally think heavier would go slower.
Exactly. Yep. So the ball speed did go up slightly because you were exerting more energy, right? You were swinging faster, but interesting enough, it only resulted in about 2 yards carry difference between the two. And that 2 yards is not enough to give up the consistency that you had with the first combination. And also to note here, between the two different shafts, the launch angles was 19.3 with the first and 19.5 with the second. The spin rate was 5,100 with the first and 4,800, basically 4,900 with the last one that you tried.
So my club will stop quicker on the greens.
Most certainly. Yep. And much less side spin, much easier to control. Having an average of 0 is incredible. So really nicely done. All right, so what we've done is we've hit a couple drives. We're going to double check just to make sure we've got you exactly where you need to be. But you've come in with a 10.5 driver, adjusted down to 9.5. And I've kind of mentioned that outside the flight seems like it's a little high. So what we'll do is we'll have you hit a couple golf shots, kind of double check the launch and the spin, see exactly what's going on. But most importantly, we're going to pay a lot of attention to where that hit location is, because the loft of the club and the hit location is really going to drive the trajectory and the consistency you see out there on the course. So we'll give it a go, take a couple swings, and kind of see what you think.
What I like is trying with the face tape, you can tell when you're hitting the center of that heel or toe. So
Exactly right.
So I'd like to hit the ball in the middle or a little bit toe side of center. So we'll just hit that pretty solid. Maybe club face a little bit open, 95 mile an hour. Yeah, a little bit open club face, so that lost it. It's 3,852 revs.
Yeah.
That's too much, and you want me to get down about 2,000?
Yeah, so ideally between about 2,200 to 2,700 would be ideal. So you can tell on that last golf shot a little bit towards the inside of the club.
In the heel a little
Yep. And then also the angles at which we're delivering the club. The attack angle, we're hitting slightly down on it. It's -2. So we're hitting down at the golf ball.
Okay.
And then we're also swinging a little bit from the outside. We're about a half a degree from the outside, which is okay. It kind of explains that kind of heelward hit. But
Okay.
so do me a favor, try to make that same swing. Maybe feel like you're going to hit slightly up on it, square into the ball, maybe toe or center.
Okay. So a little further forward.
Exactly.
And I'm going to relax and release the club face. Okay, that one is what I call a little bit of top spin.
Good.
A lot straighter.
Great. Different golf swing as well. That one actually shows that you hit up on the golf ball, you swung about a degree from the inside, and it changed the launch and the spin pretty drastically. The launch angle is now 14 and the spin rate is 2,900, so much closer to where we want to be. And I do think something like this is going to give you more of that trajectory that you're used to seeing, and definitely that more penetrating ball flight outside.
So you got me smiling. 225 yard carry. 93. It didn't swing it as fast, 93 mile an hour. But the interesting thing is the path is one degree inside out.
Yep.
And the attack angle is slightly, almost 2 degrees on the up.
Which is perfect. Yeah. Well done.
So let's put one more on and see if we can get the club face now to release the club face a little bit more through the relaxed release, and see if we get the numbers, the spin rate down. About what, 2,600?
Exactly. Somewhere in that ballpark.
Okay, so here we go. Nice and relaxed. Relaxed. Roll forward. I got that one. Right in the middle of that. Got the better flight too.
Good, well done. Good head speed, 95. Your ball speed at basically 140. Good launch, good spin. Spin's still a little high, but still better than where it was. Your efficiency shows us you struck it pretty well at 1.47, which is equal to like 98% efficient. Really nicely done. And on top, as you know, that golf swing, slightly up on the golf ball, pretty square into it with a well struck, hit location there.
Launch angle, what would you ideally want my launch angle be?
Depends on the angles of delivering it, but realistically anywhere from about 9 to 14 for you.
So 10.
Yep, it's a good number.
226 yard carry, 252 yard distance.
Much better trajectory than what you came in here with. Using that 10-5 head, you're going to be much more pleased with the trajectory on this.
The interesting thing you told me is because this marks the club head speed from these marks right on very accurately, it's usually about 5 mile an hour less inside.
Yeah, it can depend on the system in which you're using
those outdoor systems.
Exactly. Yeah.
So while I was measuring 100, 101, 102 out there, 95 is what I was probably swinging at.
Exactly. Yep. Most likely.
So I just got to get a little more work on it in here.
You're in a great spot.
Okay. Well, look, thanks very much. So what's come up with is I could do a little less loft.
Yep. Most certainly.
That head design's still great. The shaft's right.
Yep. Great combination for you. Wouldn't change that based off your tempo, your head speed. That Fujikura 665 TS stiff flex is ideal. We did keep you in this club head speed. You've got nice, consistent hit location, and of course, trying to get it as close to center, maybe even slightly center, toeward. Going to help you with your launch and spin. You're in a great spot with this XR16 driver head. There's not a whole lot more I would change aside from just going down and loft for you from the 10.5 to the 90-degree head.
90 degree. Okay.
Yep.
One final shot.
Please go right ahead.
Just one more, they say. Golf. When you're on the driving range. On the golf course, just one less. Okay, so I'm focusing on hitting this one just toe side of center, and I want to hit it on the up. So I'm going to go a little further forward. Relax, release. The middle of that.
Well done.
I got the spin down.
Exactly right. 2,200 RPMs of backspin, exactly where you want to be. Like I said, on the lower end, that's great. 9 degrees of launch, again on the lower end there, but I do think that's closer to that penetrating ball flight you're asking for. I do think that's a nice option for you.
Nice to be able to play that when you're playing on a windy course. Links courses, you need to be able to do that.
You're exactly right. And using that adjustability to your,
I can hit it higher as well. Yeah.
You're exactly right. Changing the loft from anywhere from 8 to 11 on that particular club head. Very nice to meet you.
I really appreciate the thoroughness of the fitting, and I really am impressed with the opportunity to test all this different stuff. You were able to narrow it down. I just know that my clubs are right. Just a little bit. Just change the head so I get a little bit less loft on my drive.
You're exactly right. Keep up the great work.
And we found a really good rescue as well. That was quite interesting.
Yeah, the apex kind of fits in the set perfectly. You're going to fill the gap between the fairway wood and the 4-iron.
Thanks very much, John.
Very nice to meet you. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you. John, just tell us a little bit about what's going on in this little area here.
Yeah, so through the windows here, you can see our Callaway Golf Pro Tour build department. So this is where all of our professional players' clubs are built and assembled. And that includes PGA, LPGA, Web.com, your top college player, the Champions Tour. This is where all of the products are built, from the driver all the way to the Odyssey putters in the back there. So a little bit of everything. You'll see.
If we go around the corner here, I see that there's these clubs are rotating, or they've just been taken out of that machine there. What was was a heating?
Yeah, so that's a custom built oven that we have. It holds about 36 clubs at one time. As soon as the epoxy is kind of applied to the shaft and the club head, the builders will put it in there to assure the bond, strengthen that bond to make sure it's as strong as possible.
Rotates
so
all the
there's
way
no
around, so it gets
You're exactly
360
right.
degrees.
Yep. So it takes a couple minutes, but ultimately helps that process ensure it keeps it exactly how we need it to be. Yeah. Some loft and lie machines right in front of us.
Yeah, that's to what degree tolerance?
Quarter of a degree. So the builder will be able to square up the grooves on the club face using that video there to ensure that club is square in the vise, and they can bend it, like I said, to about a quarter of a degree. Yeah. So extremely accurate.
It looks like a lot of good, very precise engineering machinery here to make sure the clubs are put together
Yeah, a lot of moving pieces. It takes about, depending on the custom specs, it takes about 30 minutes to build a driver and about 45 minutes to an hour for a set of irons. So.
I see. You got a few players up on top there. Patrick Reed just won, and Phil Mickelson's up there, and Lydia Coe on this side. Should be top of the list right now. Hendrik Senston, I see, is.
You're exactly right. One of our top players as well. Things are, our tour staff has done a wonderful job for us this year. We're extremely fortunate to have the guys and gals like you just mentioned, and they've helped put us in a great spot as far as the product and the promotion side of the game.
Oh, on this side here, you got all these putters.
Yeah, so behind you, you got the Odyssey kind of putting room, if you will, putting lab. Got about 180 different options, shapes, sizes, weights, lengths, you name it. We have the ability to set up the SAM system if we need to kind of see exactly what's going on with the putting stroke and the angles at which they're delivering it. But we do have the ability to spend the time in here to figure out exactly what combination of length, grip, club head is going to suit the golfer's game best.
Well, that's fantastic, John. It's been great to be here at Callaway, and I really appreciate getting the inside scoop. I'm sure our students of the Grow Golf system will really benefit by understanding how well made the Callaway product is.
We're extremely happy to have you guys. Thanks for taking the time.
Thanks, John. Brief history. Now, Lee, I'm with Eddie. Mm-hmm. Now, I just recognised him as I came in the door here. I met Eddie down in Palm Springs with Paul Runyon back in the early 80s, 1980s. So
yes.
He's still got your dark hair and everything. But you were with Eli Callaway when he first got the Bobby Jones. Just tell us a little bit about when Eli Callaway came in.
Well, Mr. Callaway bought the company from a real small company in Temecula. He bought it in 1982 and moved it to Palm Springs, and that's when I started working there. Mr. Callaway bought it, and it was all hickory for the first few years, the first 5 years, 6 years before they started introducing other products. So.
And you were there, you were the man.
Yeah, we had the hickory putters, wedges, and then we moved to the irons and woods.
And it was hickory on the outside, but you had steel core on the inside.
Correct, yeah, steel tube on the inside of the hickory.
And Paul Runyon was one of the first people with Eli Callaway that basically wanted to endorse.
That's right.
It was the Bobby Jones name too.
Correct.
Fantastic.
Yeah, Mr. Runyon, he would come into the plant. We saw him quite often, and really helped. Famous for the short game, really helped us with our putters and wedges. Yes, and we had so many different medallions. We put in the little coins with Mr. Runyon's signature on there, so that was extremely popular back when to help launch the company. So.
And that was the launching of Callaway Golf.
Yep.
And you were there.
I was there.
You were the man. Thanks. Great to meet you again.
Thank you.
It's 2016. That was 1983.
Yeah.
I was there. Thank you.
All right. Good to see you.